Hey, Evan Kirstel here with Elizabeth Parks, one of my favorite people on social media, president and CMO of Parks Associates, who are a powerhouse in market research and consulting in one of my favorite areas personally and a little bit professionally, the smart home, Internet of Things, connected consumer, broadband. What did I miss, Elizabeth? There's so much that you cover. That's so
Energy
exciting.
management, connected health and wellness,
Oh my
video,
gosh, how could I forget that?
yep, video distribution, OTT services, support, all things technology.
It's the whole landscape. You must be busy and you have quite a team. I'm always intrigued by the amazing insights and content and data reporting that you create. Give us the backstory of Parks Associates, who you guys are, who you are, where you are, and maybe a little story for the viewers.
Sure, absolutely. And thanks for the invitation to
Of
join you
course.
today. I admire all things coming from you. So, Parks Associates started 36 years ago. My mom was the founder of the company
And
following.
I'm going to interrupt you. I was
Yep.
very rude, but I saw this tweet the other day, and it was your mom in 1986 on USA Today's cover talking
Yep.
about our industry. So that was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite pieces of history with my mom because it's right before she started Parks Associates, and she was really focused in on understanding the power of computing in the world for consumers. And so back then, that was just when the PC, had been introduced in '84, and so part of how she started Parks Associates was really in understanding the adoption of personal computers for consumers, as well as just the controls and home automation that we still actually are studying today. So her roots did come from looking at computing, but also the reliable data and understanding adoption of technologies for consumers.
That's awesome. And the 80s were such an exciting time for computer geeks. It's kind of as the web and the internet came together, and here we are. So, how did you get involved in the family business? That sounds so fun.
Yeah, so well, I went to college and graduated from UT in Austin and was moving back home and was going to work at my mom's company for a few months while I figured out, what I was going to do with my life. And I am going on year 24, I think, of working with her. And so this is that career path, and I really love what we do here. So when I first started out, it was really like a internship marketing admin, I guess, kind of job, but we did a lot of the same things then that we do now, but just in some different ways. So it's a great opportunity for me, and we're very focused on helping provide what we consider the best and most reliable research data about the consumer and small to medium business markets.
I love it. You're a data powerhouse. I just love following your feeds for the free content you put out. I can't imagine the paid content, how much more interesting that is. But on the subject of consumers, it's the best of times, right? In terms of consumer technology, particularly at home, as we've been home more and more. Thank goodness for all this tech we've had access to. Tell us about your thoughts on the consumer segment. Are we all happy? We're sitting happy. What's on the average consumer's mind with tech?
Yeah, well, it's interesting dynamics going on right now, this moment in time. But our methodology for our core data set is surveying 10,000 internet households in the United States every quarter. And
Wow.
so we have a partner that we work with who helps field those questionnaires for us, and we get the responses back. And that is how we are tracking adoption from the consumer side. So as far as what's going on, there is a lot. The blurred lines between home and work are
Mm.
resulting in all sorts of things for consumers in their home, including just the value of technology becoming that much more for them. So I think our research shows that 53% of households value technology more than they did before. and that they're actively investing in their homes. So, upgrading their broadband services, doing home renovation projects, and then really looking to add technology to help figure out what's going on in their home, whether it's for safety, comfort, or control or maintenance, is really being enabled by all these different connected devices.
Yeah, I love how practical things have gotten. I mean, it's no longer just shiny new toys, although we like those as well. But from security to monitoring your pool water quality there, or leakage, or gas and fire. I mean, there's so many sensors and tech that can be deployed in our homes that really can impact our wealth, health, and well-being. And it's all connected, right? Is that basically the trend? Is where everything's connected now? Is that one of the key things you're seeing?
Yep, definitely. We see that if there is value in connecting the product in the home, the companies are looking to make those connected. So, uh, things like door locks and doorbells having video cameras and notifications, and storage even of video to understand who might be, around your house, are becoming very popular, but still. Not at mass market adoption at all. There's new emerging products like water leak detectors, which are still
Hmm.
in only 5% of internet households. So that's
Oh, wow.
about 5 million households in the US have one of those. However, we think that that will certainly grow, especially as the insurance companies get involved and things like fire and water, through sensor based technology, being able to detect those things either before they happen or right when they happen, creating a notification, and therefore, trying to stop something before it's happening. Insurance is going to have a huge play here in the future once everything gets proved out. So, for the smart home, just like in healthcare, for the insurance companies, they really have to have the proof in the pudding in terms of the risk that's getting mitigated as a result of the device being there. So, but yeah, I mean, the connected home is becoming this big point of differentiation for new home builders. I was just at KBIS and the International Builder Show, and I mean, I couldn't believe all the technology everywhere. And then also just consumer expectations, I mean, if you are around any of the younger demographics, the millennials, it definitely is a world of give it to me how I want it, when I want it, and exactly how I like it. So the role of personalization and choice are also becoming just more expected, as well as the technology to deliver that.
So exciting. Yeah, I'm moving house in about a month and a half, and really excited. It's like a blank canvas. You can start over and create something whole new with tech. So I'll be a kid in a candy store over at Best Buy in a couple months. And I love, how much choice there is. I mean, you're starting to be able to mix and match different kinds of devices and personalize things from lighting to security to user interfaces. What other trends are you seeing as far as consumer tech that we can look out for the rest of this year into next?
Yeah, so that the integration between different products is really a big thing. Although it is quite a fragmented market with a number of companies and different brands introducing products. So integration and interoperability actually is a massive problem for the industry. And there currently is an initiative by the Connectivity Standards Alliance called Matter, which is a standard that would go across the top of everything else and make products work together. So they have, I think, over 200 companies, including the big ones: Amazon, Google, Apple, all the major manufacturers, Samsung, LG. I mean, it's a huge group who are investing their engineering time to figure out how to create interoperability between the products. And this would really help with getting to that vision of the smart home, this seamless, unified experience for consumers where they have one control point, as has been noted. Many people having all these different apps on their phones, and you just want it easy and it to work, and make your life easier. And a lot of the products now, unless if you're an early adopter and willing to go through some of those challenges, most people won't embrace that. And so this new initiative is a big one. It's a tall order, though. We've been studying the standards game here for almost 40 years, and lots more standards have been developed, but there has not been one that really brings it all together. So we'll see. There's some naysayers out there questioning whether this is even possible. And they have pushed back their deadlines now several different times, which doesn't surprise many in the industry. But we know also they're working very hard at this solution. So if they can do that, that is going to really open things up, especially on the services side, because you end up having all these different connected devices in the home, and those services get attached. Part of the challenge, though, also with that initiative, is you have all these different companies, and of course they're all after the bottom line and the control of the home. And so who has that control? Who sees the data and the meaning of that data in terms of what consumers are doing and how they're, what kinds of activities they're using with their devices. So it's pretty interesting, actually, because these are major competitors here, especially the tech giants.
Yeah, and then competition, disruption, new players. What's old becoming new again is a big theme. In the place we're moving to, they're basically two broadband providers, Verizon and Comcast. So you can choose one or the other. Both, very good providers, but not a lot of disruption there. Where do you see disruption coming from? If it's not on the telco side, are there new entrants we should keep our eyes on?
Well, yeah, I mean, in home security, it's the DIY play, right? So the home security industry is billions of dollars in annual service revenue that has been largely captured by the ADT and Brinks of the world. And so new companies like Wise or even Ring initially getting into the game really disrupted the market with these low cost products and no monitoring fees or self monitoring options. So that's been a big one. On the video side, the OTT space is definitely, and OTT stands for over the top video. So things like Netflix and Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. I mean, this is completely disrupting the broadband providers in the sense that cable TV is really dropping. So consumers continue to cut pay TV out of their broadband bundle. So now I think 57% of households have a pay TV service, and then they're moving to OTT services. So 82% of households have at least one OTT service, and 49% have four or more services. So on that end, we see consumers basically going out and building their own bundle, right? They're going to buy Netflix and Disney and ESPN Plus and maybe some anime, show, whatever niche thing that particular person wants to watch, effectively then having their own service bundle of over the top services. And so this is dramatic. And as you saw the news last week, I'm sure, with Netflix, so everybody is talking about what's happening in OTT. We also saw CNN Plus launch and fail faster than Quibi did, which was really interesting also to read all that news. So the video service market, there is just a lot going on as it relates to how consumers are viewing their content and how they're accessing it. Are they going to a direct to consumer service? Are they going to go through their broadband provider and add the bundle, the OTT service through that angle? A lot of disruption and a ton of money right now that's getting shifted around, and certainly a lot of people not making as much money as they used to.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you described me exactly with the OTT bundle. I liked your post about live streaming becoming one of the most, adopted services over the top. Of course, we're doing it live now, and there are, many live broadcasts you can tune into, which are frankly kind of really interesting. So
Yeah,
no lack
absolutely.
of choice.
Yeah, and I mean, live is a big driver. I mean, same thing with sports. Live TV is also
Mhm.
news. So that's one thing with CNN Plus. Like, how could you launch a streaming news service without live news?
Right.
I mean, so there are some things that are important anchors for the consumer experience and what they expect that has to kind of be built in to start in many ways, even with new innovative ideas and services rolling out.
Awesome. Now you do a lot of events. I always see your events popping up. I think mostly virtual through the pandemic. How are events going for you?
Well, we're back in business with going in
Awesome.
person. We will be hosting our 26th annual Connections Conference. That's our signature event in Texas here next month. We did move all of our events. So before the pandemic, we hosted 6 executive conferences. We had a Connected
Wow.
Health Summit, Future of Video, Smart Energy Summit, and then 3 Connections series events, one that we host at CES, one we hosted in Europe, which is pretty much on hold still, and
Mm.
then our Connections event typically in San Francisco. So we moved our entire event operations virtually in 2020 and 2021. And so instead of hosting a couple day event, we decided what was best was to do multiple events throughout the year with just a couple of hours, like a 2 hour block of time, because we quickly realized, nobody wants to sit in virtually for 10 hours listening to anything. And so that actually worked really well for us in terms of our ability to maintain our events business, which is important overall for our research, but also our business. It's also important, I think, for our clients because the opportunity to listen to each other and learn and dive deep into some of our topics that are pretty specific is also really beneficial.
Yeah.
So events are going great. I mean, now we're doing virtual and in person. So we have a really robust offering, I'd say, of content that features our research. Everything is anchored by our data and insights, and then we have these amazing executives who come and share what they're working on and really what's the next best thing coming.
Awesome. So what do you think? Do you think you can get Elon Musk to speak? He's in Texas a lot these days. Maybe talk about supercharging and
Oh my
solar.
gosh. We I'll have to ask if we've got any outstanding invitations to him, but we always reach for the stars. So I'm going to say that we actually probably ask Elon Musk every year to come
Right.
speak, at least at our Smart Energy Summit. And yeah, that wouldn't that be a win? So that would be
Yeah,
something.
well, he's quite a visionary on energy, among other things. So that'll be fun. And to see him tweeting there would be even more fun. But great. Well, thanks so much for chatting. Great to meet you virtually. This is way more fun than a Zoom call. And one last question I want to ask: any tech or gadgets that you're using that might be interesting? I know basically have a view of the entire landscape of consumer gadgets. So anything you recommend or any new devices coming out that might be cool for a geek like me to try?
Well, I came across this one particular water solution. It's called, I think it's called Rain Stick, and
Mm,
it's a shower. It's a special shower device and a circular water shower device that ends up saving millions of gallons of water.
wow.
And so it saves the water. And then actually, when you're running water, there's some electricity that comes into play as well with energy savings and
Mm,
water. And so by saving water, you can also save energy overall. And so I was introduced to that. They won Best of Show, I think, at CES as well. So they're a
oh, no
Canadian
kidding.
company, a woman named Alicia, and I got to meet her at the KBIS show, and I thought that was really cool.
That is very cool. I'm going to have a look. Well, look, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll be following you. I'd encourage folks to follow Elizabeth at Liz Parks or Parks Associates. So we'll catch you on Twitter.
Great. Thank you so much, Evan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise.